In September of 2013, unprecedented rain flooded 6 different river corridors, causing destruction to homes, businesses, and more than 400 miles of Colorado highways. In 2022, the Colorado Department of Transportation finished the final permanent repair project from the floods. This is the story of building the road to resiliency. Over the next few months, crews were working long hours to get the roads open. Using materials on hand and without a lot of the red tape, the teams built back roads using basic engineering principles, knowing that much of the work would be temporary as the permanent repairs started to ramp up. Crews did such a good job at many of the locations that there was no need to come back and do more work in the permanent repair phase. Each new road that opened, there were celebrations and cheers. Some of the celebrations were a little more personal.
One of the most rewarding parts of this particular project was as we were doing our final walkthrough, just to my right was where we were at. And we had just stabilized everything, we had seeded it, it was all ready to go. And a giant snapping turtle just pops his head up from the water and just kind of looks at us, makes that eye contact and disappears under the water. Now we don't know, but we like to think he was saying thank you.
Two of the things that actually stood out to me the most was we had opened 34 up by Drake. It was snowing, it was cold, it was miserable. The governor was going to be up there and they were going to paint the line to say that this part of 34 was open. And that's when the young girl with the bag of cookies said, "You're my hero." That one still gets me. Very humbling, to say the very least. And then when we opened Highway 7, standing there in Oscar blues next to the governor, eating barbecue and just BSing with everybody and feeling that collective sigh throughout every community that was affected by the flood was pretty overwhelming.
And then, 2 days before Thanksgiving, the final road was open and emergency repairs were complete.
You know, it felt great. And in my old office, we have a signed poster that all the residents up here, thank you CDOT. And, there's, I bet 75 or 80 signatures. And it's, last time I was there, it's still on the wall. And, knowing that, sometimes roadway construction is kind of academic and you don't realize that, it's impacting people's lives. And in this case, those people were living in hotels for 2 months and they couldn't get here. And it was nice in that case to really get a thanks. And, my team, people were up here the first week or so, 20-hour days. And then once we got into a cadence, it was 12 on, 12 off.
We did it. And there's a lot of teamwork and it's amazing. It's all coming together to make it happen.
I think I was pretty giddy. I think it's always really cool to be part of something that's bigger than yourself. And there's so many people in Colorado that depend on these roads.
It was a sense of relief. The roads were open. Now we could go back to our normal life.
It was just a giant relief. I don't even remember being like happy or elated. I just remember sort of being like, oh, whew.
Getting the roads open by that deadline just meant that we were able to connect people again. But that was the beginning of a long road ahead.
Honestly, it was still a little bit shock. It was so rewarding, and taking that bus up and cutting that last ribbon, and the snow was falling. It was overwhelming and elating. I think for me, I was like, oh my gosh, we still have so much to do.